From the East Brunswick Jewish Center, I'm Rabbi Jeff Pivo. The account of Noah and the flood in this week's Parsha is one of the Torah's most well-known episodes. Western culture draws upon images of the ark and the floodwaters, the dove with an olive branch in its beak, and the rainbow in countless ways. One of the lesser remarked upon elements of this story is the transition between the drowning death of all on land and the next step in redeeming and populating the earth. After 150 days of high waters, the Torah tells us, God remembered Noah and all aboard the ark. A modern commentary points out that in the Torah, to remember is not to retain or recall a mental image, but rather to focus on the subject of memory that results in action. God had not forgotten and then remembered Noah. Neither was God simply giving thought to him. But rather, God's remembering here is a way of zeroing in on Noah among all the things in the universe on God's mind, so to speak, and then putting into motion the events that will follow. Whenever God remembers something in Torah, something then happens. Like God, we too have a lot going on in our lives, but in order for something significant to happen, we need to be able to remember each day what our primary responsibilities are at a particular moment in order to then take the actions required to fulfill those responsibilities. Remembering of this kind should never be idle. Oh, I really need to get to that. But instead an incentive to specific action. Seeing a photo of a family member on the mantelpiece reminds us to call or visit to maintain and deepen our relationships. Attending services remind us of our obligation to our Jewish learning and giving back to the community in specific ways, such as giving tzedakah. Hearing of social ills like poverty or gun violence or discrimination should move us to take political action or get personally involved in finding solutions to those ills. And in a year when Texas, Florida, Puerto Rico, and many other Caribbean islands have suffered actual flooding from hurricanes, we should be moved to give tzedakah beyond what we typically do in order to make real our commitment to the value of kindness to strangers. These floods, though not of the scale of the Mabul the Torah describes, have been devastating to those communities. Helping them, as they have helped us in New Jersey in the past, is a vital Jewish ethic. For the smaller challenges that we face daily, the cooking, the cleaning, the schlepping, a to-do list is sufficient. These things have to get done, but they don't define who we are or infuse our lives with meaning beyond basic survival. They are necessary for life, but they are not sufficient. If we allow ourselves to become consumed by them without remembering the larger purpose of our efforts, we risk being drowned in a flood of minutiae. We have to remember, to focus, and then to act in order for us to merit seeing the rainbow of redemption and promise of a better future. From the East Brunswick Jewish Center, I'm Rabbi Jeff Pivo.